23 years, 3 teams, 4 championships. And on a quiet Friday morning that nobody saw coming, LeBron James picked up his phone, opened X, and ended the single longest era in modern NBA history. He didn't do it with a TV special. He didn't do it with an agency press conference. He did it with a 3-part post. No mention of Golden State, no nod to Minnesota, no goodbye to any of the mystery teams that had been floated for weeks. Just Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia. To understand how insane this is, you have to rewind to early July. Free agency opens. LeBron is sitting there as an unrestricted free agent for basically the first time in his prime-adjacent career. And the known suitors are exactly who you'd expect. Cleveland, the homecoming narrative. Miami, the Heatles reunion narrative. Golden State, the one more ring with a childhood rival turned frenemy narrative. Philadelphia wasn't even in the conversation. Then one day after the Sixers pull off a genuinely shocking trade, sending Paul George and a pile of draft picks to Boston for Jaylen Brown, the front office quietly enters the LeBron sweepstakes. Reporters treat it as a long shot. Hey, why not throw a pitch and see what happens move? For weeks, that's all it is. A subplot. LeBron's camp, led by his longtime agent, Rich Paul, makes it clear there's no rush. Paul goes on record saying the decision won't be forced by outside noise, that James will take exactly as long as he wants. And then, in the middle of all that silence, LeBron says something that breaks the internet for an entirely different reason. If you followed the Sixers for the last decade, you know exactly what trust the process means. It's Sam Hinkie's tanking philosophy turned religion, turned meme, turned actual tattoo on grown men's forearms. So when LeBron, a guy who has never played a single game for Philadelphia, casually drops the phrase, trusting the process, in a comment, the Sixers' internet loses its collective mind. Is this a hint? Is this tampering? Is the king sending smoke signals? LeBron, being LeBron, immediately shuts it down. He points out he's been saying some version of that phrase since he got drafted back in 2003, long before Hinkie ever turned it into a Philadelphia catchphrase. He even jokes that Joel Embiid probably wasn't old enough to know what basketball was when he started saying it. It's a classic LeBron move. Say something loaded, let the internet spiral, then deny it just enough to keep everyone guessing. But here's the thing about smoke. Sometimes there actually is a fire. Let's talk about why Philly, of all places, made basketball sense. First, Joel Embiid. LeBron and Embiid aren't just former all-star teammates. They won Olympic gold together with Team USA. That's the kind of shared locker room chemistry that doesn't show up on a stat sheet but matters enormously in recruiting. Second, Tyrese Maxey. LeBron and Maxey have history from off-season workouts together long before any of this trade talk existed. Third, and this is the domino everyone underestimated, the Sixers had just added Jaylen Brown, a top 6 MVP vote-getter, in a genuinely stunning trade with Boston. Overnight, Philadelphia went from solid playoff team with an injury-prone superstar to team with 3 all-star level pieces and real title urgency. And fourth, Mike Gansey. The new Sixers president of basketball operations has a personal relationship with LeBron going back to their high school days. The two finished first and second for Ohio's Mr. Basketball Award, decades before either of them ran or ruled the NBA. Suddenly, trust the process doesn't sound like a throwaway joke anymore. It sounds like a guy who already knew where he was going. Here's the part that actually stunned people more than the destination: the money. LeBron didn't take a max deal. He didn't even take a mid-level deal. Reports have him agreeing to a 2-year, $8 million contract with a player option, a fraction of what he could have commanded elsewhere. For context, that's closer to a minimum salary role player's paycheck than a 4-time MVP's. Why? Because the Sixers roster was already full, and the front office needed to shed salary just to make room for him. LeBron, by all accounts, wanted this badly enough to leave real money on the table. And there's a subplot here too. Plenty of people assumed that wherever LeBron went, his son Bronny would follow. That, at least for now, doesn't appear to be happening. Bronny looks likely to stay in Los Angeles, where the Lakers reportedly want to keep building around him. Which means, for the first time since he entered the league, LeBron is making a franchise decision that isn't shaped around playing alongside his son. Friday morning. No leaks. No sources say. Just LeBron on X, in his own words, calling this his last decision and revealing he genuinely considered retirement before choosing to play on. He thanked Los Angeles. He said he'd always loved Miami. He called Northeast Ohio home forever. And then he turned the page to Philadelphia, saying he believes he can help build a championship team there and that he's ready to energize an entirely new fan base for what he's calling one final journey. Within hours, the Pennsylvania governor had literally declared it LeBron James Day across the state. Sixers Twitter genuinely broke, with fans posting some version of "Wait, is this real?" for a solid hour before it fully sank in. Because let me be honest, after 2 decades of will he, won't he storylines involving the king, this is the one nobody had on their bingo card. Now let me get real for a second, because vibes don't win playoff series. The obvious concern, fit and health. Embiid's injury history is well documented at this point. LeBron, even at an age where he's still making all-star teams, is human. Last season, he was still putting up strong across-the-board numbers, but every mile on this odometer matters. The obvious upside, shot creation and shooting gravity. Maxey and Brown give the Sixers actual perimeter juice they haven't had in years, and dropping a still elite passer and processor like LeBron into that mix, next to a healthy Embiid, is a genuine top-of-the-East proposition on paper. The obvious wildcard, chemistry and shot distribution. You're now looking at 4 alpha-level scorers, Embiid, Maxey, Brown, and LeBron, all needing touches. Coaching staff figures out how those egos and usage rates coexist, and this team is scary. Coaching staff doesn't figure it out, and this becomes the most talented disappointment in recent memory. This isn't a sure thing, super team the way people are already framing it online. It's a genuine, fascinating bet with real risk attached. Love him or not, you have to sit with what this actually represents. This is a player entering his 24th NBA season, choosing his 4th different team on what he himself is calling his final decision. Not for the biggest paycheck, not necessarily for the flashiest market. For a shot, one more shot at a championship, alongside a core he genuinely believes in. Whatever happens on the court this season, that alone is a remarkable closing chapter to write for yourself, on your own terms, in your own words, on your own timeline.